Okay, so hi, I'm Benedikt. I will present B2DROP. It's a service from the EUDAT project, or offered by the EUDAT project. I'm working for Jülich, the supercomputing center in Jülich. We are offering the service on behalf of the EUDAT project. Before I start with B2DROP, some general information about EUDAT. Always good to have a European map. EUDAT is a project. We are in the second phase. There are many partners all around Europe working together within the EUDAT project to provide data services. We started back in 2011. Yes, we are still running, developing services. EUDAT and its requirements and services are community-driven. So we have different user communities coming with requirements, and we want to fulfill them, provide them with services they can use daily and that make their life easier. About the service portfolio of EUDAT, we see B2DROP as an entry point to the EUDAT infrastructure in general. There are other services, for example, B2Share. There we have a naming problem, so B2Share is comparable to Zenodo. I think most of you are aware of Zenodo. I think both services are based on Invenio, so B2Share is based on Invenio. With B2Share you can, for example, publish your data. B2Save is for storing data on the long term, replicated across different European data centers. And there are other services, B2Stage, to transfer files from the B2Save, safe data storage, to HPC facilities, B2Handle to make data citable on a long term via creating epic PIDs, or handle in the backend, and B2Access to authenticate users. So B2Access is a middleware on top of different identity providers, for example, the DFN AI or GitHub, Facebook, and also it supports local user accounts. I will come to this later. Yes, I will give information about B2DROP. For whom is B2DROP? This is simply copied from the EUDAT homepage. For researchers and citizen scientists that want to share and synchronize data with colleagues on a smaller scale, and that want to synchronize data across different devices. What can you do with it? Typically store and exchange data. There is synchronization enabled. And we want to integrate other EUDAT services. As you were able to see here, we want to integrate our B2Share to publish data on the long term. The login page of B2DROP is shown here. I think most of you will see it's a layer on top of OnCloud. Right now it's OnCloud. With the common EUDAT look and feel. Some words about usage statistics. We are quite small. We have currently 1,000 users. We started back in the end of 2014 with the service. Right now we have 1 terabyte of data, a million objects, and the request you can see there. On the graph you can see the weekend. I think we saw it on the CERN slides as well, that on the weekend typically the usage is much lower. Some operational aspects. We currently use Puppet to deploy B2DROP. Puppet makes sure that the required services are running, so Apache, MySQL typically, and that the B2DROP theme is in place and in the version that we want to have on the server. Yes, some other aspects. We migrated to a new server in 2016, the beginning of 2016. We, as a computing center, were mainly focused on running SLAS before, but wanted to migrate to CentOS to be able to use Puppet to deploy B2DROP because the SLAS support of Puppet was very bad, so to say. At the same time, we migrated from OnCloud 7, a deployment based on PHP 5.3, to OnCloud 9.0 with PHP 7 and new LAMP stack, meaning switch from MySQL to MariaDB, Apache 2.2 to 2.4, and as I said, more recent PHP version, or the latest one at that point. In July last year, we changed to the latest OnCloud release. Some aspects that are not that have nothing to do with operations are this continuous theme adoptions. You are able to see the login page. It's quite some effort for us to always adopt OnCloud to look like we want to have it look like other EUDAT services. The B2Share bridge, meaning the B2Share integration, is one item in our agenda that we put many effort into. And Nextcloud evaluation. Most of you might know that there was a fork of OnCloud, and to make sure that we stand with the best service for our users, we of course evaluated Nextcloud in the past. Yes, the B2Share bridge, so the integration with other EUDAT services. A use case, typically, if many users are working on their private space, let's call it private space, share files with other researchers, and at one point in time they want to make it publicly available. For example, if they work on measurements or if they work on publications, and at some point in time they want to publish this file and make it referable for the whole world. And to enable this with B2DROP, we have extended the B2DROP web UI to be able to create such deposits within the B2DROP web UI and implement third-party transfers. So a user can say, oh, this is my file in the B2DROP web UI. Now I want to migrate it to B2Share, and this happens in the background. So the user has nothing to do with it anymore. How does it work? So it's an OnCloud file table. I think most of you know it, those at least from Cernbox. There we have this B2Share icon. So on a file base, user can now select one of its files that he wants to publish. If he selects it, the tab view is extended. The user can select the community schema. So within B2Share, we provide the ability to define metadata for the actual file, for the actual object. So if a user wants to publish a file, he can define additional metadata for that file so that other researchers are able to search for the file, or to make search for the file easier. Yes, another view on B2DROP. Here you can see a list of last deposits with a URL where the file is available afterwards. And that's how a file in B2Share look like, or open deposit in B2Share. So that's the B2Share web UI. Also web service that EUDAT provides to publish files. When this deposit is finalized, the epic PID is given to the actual object, which makes the data referable. It's working like DOI for, I think Zenodo is using DOIs. Within EUDAT, we are mainly using epic PIDs. In the backend, I think the same service is used as a handle system. We had to extend the user interface of B2DROP to share API tokens. Also the admin interface, of course. Here, an admin can define a B2Share endpoint because we are running several B2Share instances. So admin can define which B2Share instance to use, how many files a user can upload at the same time, and so on. Yes, to implement this B2Share bridge, we followed the OnCloud and Nextcloud third-party app pattern. What we used from the app framework, databases, of course, to store the deposits and their state, to store B2Share communities. As I said, there are many communities available, or community metadata schema available. We use the cron job that OnCloud provides to actually transfer the data and fetch the list of B2Share communities. And some JavaScript GUI work, of course, to extend the file view, have this tab view option, and so on. Yeah, that's from the B2Share bridge. Another important point on our agenda is the B2Access integration. As I said before, with B2Access, you are able to integrate many different identity providers, DFN, IAI, EduGain in general, I guess, Facebook, GitHub, and so on. In the past, we and our colleagues from CSC have spent some effort into integrating the mod shibboleth module of Apache. So we enabled mod shibboleth in Apache and used the attributes that we got there. The problem that we had with that was the lack of client support, of course. No client applications worked. No mobile applications, operating system applications, simply nothing beside of the web UI. With Nextcloud, there's a user SAML module that we had a look at. It looks quite promising for our use case because of the fact that all clients work due to application passwords that you're able to define. One problem that we see with that is currently, I think they are at an early state, we have to map different attributes for email, for username, and so on to use within our B2DROP instance. The attribute mapping is not that flexible. So right now, we are not able to map sufficient attributes. And after enabling user SAML, local logins no longer work, and also no LDAP anymore. Currently, we are heavily relying on LDAP, on a local LDAP. So that's a showstopper here. We hope that we can help to enhance the situation in the near future. Yes, that's about the B2Access integration. So we wanted to integrate for B2DROP. The main goal was to integrate other EUDAT services and provide a reliable service. This reliable service stuff we are able to provide. It was quite easy. We had no unplanned outage in the last 2 years. And that's the current status. So right now we are happy with the usage, around 1,000 users. It's for EUDAT quite well. The B2Share Bridge implementation is on ongoing stuff, and this B2Access integration too. Yeah, that's the current status of B2DROP. Thank you.
Thank you, Benedikt. I believe there are some questions before we have a quarter of an hour break, the last for today. The stage is open for asking.
So there is no coffee outside, you can ask?
I believe no. Okay, there is no question.